Hey guys, it's Dewey in Nashville. Coming back after a long break for another update, a quick update on the winter die-off of the garden. Not much is going on. It's cold. You can see my breath. I can see my breath. So we've got a lot of plants dying, and that's just fine because it's about that time of year. And to be honest with you, I'm ready for a little bit of a break outside until next year. So I'll take you through what little bit's left. We got a couple things still growing. And then that'll be probably the final update for the outside garden until next year when we start planting seeds. I'll have some things growing indoors this year though, so I'll have some of that for you. But for now, let's take a look at the rest of the garden. My tripod is MIA, and so it'll be kind of freehand. So come on with me. Sorry about if it's a little shaky. I'll take you through the garden and we'll get started. Alright, as you can see here, the green beans have died off and the tomato plant has died off. It still has some tomatoes on here that are ripening even in the cold. So I'll probably leave those on there and come back as they start to ripen and bring them in and let them finish ripening. But for the moment, yeah, tomato plant dead. Strangely enough, I still have some carrots that are growing, and so I'll probably just let those stay in the ground and see what they do next year. Broccoli's still championing the garden in the cold, even with frost on the leaves. As you can see, it's growing heads. At least this one is. The others haven't started forming heads yet, but I think they probably will, as long as the temps don't get too cold. So I'll have a broccoli head here in a little bit, and I'll be able to enjoy some fresh broccoli even in the cold weather. You can see this broccoli plant here I just let go to flower, and it actually looks pretty beautiful. I mean, I'd never seen a broccoli plant flower before, but that looks decent, pretty good. It's a nice little piece of beauty in the garden from something that, you know, other people would call a failure, but I don't really call that a failure. All those side shoots are now starting to turn to flower. Right. The kale, as you would expect, is still growing, still flourishing pretty well. I haven't harvested any leaves off of it yet, but I probably will. So I'll let you know how that tastes maybe in one of the future update videos. And then here is another good thing in the garden. My carrots. Let me pull one of these for you. Oh gosh. That is a nice looking carrot. So I'll probably pull these up, go ahead and get them inside before they die off and get too woody. And the cold will make them a little sweet. So they'll be pretty good for the way my wife likes to do them, likes to do the candied carrots. That'll be good for that. So yeah, have some nice, you know, dozen or a couple dozen nice looking carrots. I'll let you know something I just planted, something you have to plant in the fall, and that is garlic. Now, you have to get it in and let it shoot up. And these are doing a pretty good job of that. You can see some of them just starting to poke out the ground. I got probably about 3 dozen cloves of garlic in these 3 containers, so about a dozen in each. And then I'll let them grow and see how they do next year. But they're starting to come up pretty well right now, so I definitely can't complain. Now, you're probably looking at this and thinking, well, there's a meal in that plant. Yeah, there is. But this is actually something that's going to save me seeds next year. This plant just grew up and did so well. Look at all those beans on there, and that's just from a month worth of production almost. This plant just did so well that I'm going to let those seed pods ripen on the vines. The plant's kind of died off, but it'll still ripen those seeds. And you can see it kind of already is with these green beans. How the pods are starting to form, and the seeds look like they're taking shape in there. So I'm going to let those finish ripening and form viable seed, and then I'm going to save that seed and plant that next year, because that was one good plant right there. Didn't really have to worry about diseases or pests as I did with some of my other green bean plants, and so I'm probably going to be planting those next year instead of pole beans, especially after how that plant did compared to how the pole bean plants did. Speaking of the pole beans, yep, they died off. I didn't really have a chance to put out enough green beans. Whatever got to them good early, and so they're not doing so hot. Cherry tomatoes, the cherry tomato plant in the back fell over, and it's kind of funny because the tomatoes were like this color when it fell over, and I didn't worry about standing it back up. I just kind of let it die off because I knew the frost was coming. And those tomatoes on the dead plant have continued to ripen, and so I'll go back there and I'll see red tomatoes every few weeks, or every few days, sorry. So I can get good tomatoes from a dead plant even in the winter just by letting them ripen on the vine. Alright guys, that's it for the update. I'll be back probably in a week or two to show you some tomato plants and some vines that I have sitting inside, rooting right now, and then I'm going to get those planted and get a grow light set up probably this weekend so I can put them underneath that and not have to worry about putting them in a window with the cold air beside them. So I'll be back with that, and also be looking for a potato experiment update. That's going to be coming out shortly after I get done with this video. So sorry about the delay, but I'm back, and we'll have some more information and you can learn with me some more coming up in the next few weeks. So if you're watching this after Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving, happy Christmas, and I'll see you guys later. Remember, you plant the seed, but God sends the harvest. Alright, as you can see here, and you could take them inside to prevent, animals from getting to them, or birds or whatever. I haven't really had to worry about that, so I'm just going to let them stay out here and ripen as they stay on the vine, and then come and get them as they ripen. Got a couple turnips that turned out pretty good late in the season. Not a whole lot. These are actually ones I planted before the other ones I harvested earlier, and they just decided they were going to make a late season comeback. So got a few extra turnips there to give to some friends at work, because I don't eat them, but I like growing them.